Welcome everyone to live stream 6. We'll be continuing from where we left off last time, which is to add in the mining framework and test the mechanics. Alright, so we've already added the mining objects grouping along with the ordinary targets grouping, and we've added some of the logic in to determine which group a target belongs to and decide whether it should be damaged based on its type, right? And the last thing we had before we closed the session was that it didn't work. And I told you I would try and figure it out. So I've thought about it. And I think it's got something to do with signals. See, in the last implementation, excuse me, in the last implementation with the plasma bolt, we have this signal here, right? So on plasma bolt body entered. But if I go, for example, to the mining vessel and I select the grinder arm, you can see there is no signal attached. Notice how the plasma bolt is of type area 3D. The root node is an area node, and everything inside the plasma bolt is a child of that area node. So why can't we do the same thing for the mining vessel? Unfortunately for us, it's not that simple, because the grinder barrel, which is this thing here, needs to rotate. And in order to rotate, it needs to be of type character body 3D, or at least animatable static body, but no, that's not the best. So for our use case, it's not going to work to have it as a area 3D, but we can add an area 3D as a child of the grinder barrel. And then also the other thing I've noticed, I haven't actually attached the script to the grinder barrel. So there's that as well. So as you can see, the plasma bolt has bolt behavior GD attached to it. Excuse me. So as you can see, here is bolt behavior, and here's barrel behavior. We can rename this function to be on okay, so it's one word, title case, grinder barrel body entered. All right, so we can save that, attach a body to the grinder barrel. So let's do that. We'll add in an area node. and then we add another child node to that, a collision shape 3D. And then the collision shape needs a shape, so let's do that. Give it a cylinder shape and deal with its rotations. Rotate about the z-axis 90, and then just make sure everything is aligned. We can make it slightly bigger than the actual collision shape. Or perhaps a bit smaller. No, bigger. We'll just do bigger. Bigger is fine. Then there's a few things we need to do. All right. So the first thing, we need to add a variable, an onReady variable. OnReady variable spinning is spinning. Or just call it spinning. All right. And this is of type Boolean. So we'll say of type bool and set it to false automatically. We'll just say okay. So if the body is in group target and, or rather if spinning and the body is in group target. Okay, so it has to be both. The thing it's colliding with, this is battle behavior, and it's not of type target, it has to be of type mining object, because this is battle behavior. Alright, so if it's of type mining object and the barrel is spinning, which it isn't by default, then call the take damage method if there is one. Okay, so we can save that and target behavior. It should have target behavior attached, which is fine. Okay. So I'm just thinking about this. What I need to do now is establish a signal here somewhere and connect it to a method in the barrel, the mining barrel. Yeah. I'm just writing out my prompt for DeepSeek to help me figure out exactly how we're going to do the signal. So we have a script called mining player behavior. If I open up the file system and I go to scripts, behaviors, why is it not here? It should be here. Barrel, bolt, target, waypoint. Is it in entities? Or player? Yeah, mining player behavior. So when the player holds down the left mouse button in mining player behavior.gd, the barrel starts spinning, and it should emit a signal that is connected to a function in barrel behavior.gd. This function then sets the spinning boolean flag to true, and another signal is emitted when the left mouse button is released and the spinning boolean flag should be set to false again. Okay, so remind me how to create a new signal and connect it to another script via GDScript. I want to send a signal to a different script in the same scene, so a state flag can be toggled whenever the player is holding down the left mouse button. This should make the barrel spin, and I only want objects to take damage while the spinning flag is true. Here's the structure of the scripts in the scene. We have mining player behavior.gd, and this is the script attached to the root node. And then we also have barrel behavior.gd, which is the script attached to the barrel node. So when the player holds down the left mouse button in mining player behavior.gd, the barrel starts spinning, and it should emit a signal that is connected to a function in the barrel behavior.gd script. And this function then sets the spinning boolean flag to true, and another signal is emitted when the left mouse button is released, and the spinning boolean flag should be set to false again. And so here's what DeepSeek has suggested. Here's how to create and connect signals via GD script for your use case. At the top of the script with your other variables in mining behavior.gd, we need to have two signals, one called barrel spin started and barrel spin stopped. So coming over here, we have at the top, we need to create two signals. Let's do that. Copy these, paste them here. All right, the next step. And then we have a function if event is input event mouse button, if event dot input index mouse button left, if event dot pressed, then emit the signal, else emit the other signal. Okay. Okay, so we connect the signal in the barrel behavior script. We declare the signal in the mining behavior script and connect it in the barrel behavior script. Okay, let's do that. So we go down to the input function in the physics process. If is action pressed, then call the shoot button. I'm in the shoot script. Let's find that script. Here. So we've already got this if statement here, right? So if event is input event mouse button, we have it here. So what I'll do is I will remove this if statement and add the functionality here instead. Right? So what we'll do is we'll check if event.pressed, then emit the signal barrel spin started, else emit barrel spin stopped. So let's do that. If event dot pressed emit signal barrel spin started, and then we call the shoot function. Else emit the signal barrel spin stopped. Okay. And then over in barrel behavior, we need to have a boolean called spinning, which we do. It's right there. And then we need to have in the ready function. Okay, so instead of rewriting, let's just copy it. It's faster. Although it's better if I write it myself. but to save time. What is going on? Oh, right. Just save the file. It adds the tabs in. Identifier on battle splint started, not declared in the current scope because it's player.battle, which is not correct. So what we'll do is instead we'll define player up here. So we'll say onReady variable player, and then just node path is of type get the node path. I'm sure there's a thing called get root property usage node path from scene root. Not working. Okay. Just Mining vessel, grinder arm, grinder barrel. Okay, so it seems I hadn't finished all the steps. So I need to define these functions first. That's what it's complaining about. Let's do that. Okay, so function underscore on barrel spin started. And then we want to say spinning set to true, and we want the assignment to be on column 40. True. Okay. And then we want the same thing for the other one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Paste. And then we change this to stopped. We change that to false. And now all the errors are gone. Amazing. So get parent dot get parent dot get parent. And then just to prove it works without going through all kinds of difficulty, we'll just make a print statement here to say spinning active. And then over here, we make a print statement to say spinning inactive or not active. Okay, that's good. Now we can bring back the test scene, go towards the firing range, save the scene, and check the output. And then clear. Okay, then we run the game. No, it's not working. What did I do? Oh, here we go. If action is pressed, nothing, then do something. Somehow that doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't, because it's supposed to be mouse button left. if event dot button index is mouse button left. That's the complaint. Okay, now it's happy. So if the left mouse button is pressed, emit the started signal and call the shoot function. Else, emit the stopped signal and don't call the shoot function. Okay, so let's try that. We'll run the game. And we've got an error here on this line. The new one. What's it saying? Button index. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to add in the button directly over there. So we'll go project, settings, input map, advanced, search for it. Here we go. Left mouse button is type shoot. Okay, good. We've got it. We can add it back. So if is pressed, shoot. Then we save and try again. Same problem. Is pressed, expected 0 arguments. Is action pressed? I see. So we have to say if event, go back to DeepSeek to refer, is input event mouse button, if event dot button index. Is action pressed? And then just cut this. Yeah, okay. So we're going back here. We'll put it back where it belongs, which is there. And then like that. And then we'll test it again. Here, run the scene. Okay. So far so good. No damage. What is going on? Go back to battle behavior. Spinning active and not active. I'm probably missing something. Yeah, I think this is better. I do think that's better. So we'll get rid of that and go to this ready function up here. We'll just do that instead. So cut and paste it there, and then say on ready variable battle is of type node path, and it has that node path. So let's just put it where it belongs, which is there. Put this as a string and just change the actual name mining vessel, grinder arm, grinder barrel. No, that's correct. Space. All right. So the error that I had was that I used the node path type specifier, which was wrong. It should have just been blank. Okay, so that's that. And the connection is up here. So let's just make it tidy. Save things. Save some more things. Clean. And run. There we go. Invalid access property or key for on barrel spin started. Yeah, here's why. I didn't connect the script to the grinder barrel. So let's do that. From scripts. No. Scripts behavior. Barrel behavior. Okay, and then we also want on barrel behavior, this on grinder barrel body entered needs to have a connection. So if we go towards the signals for area node, on body entered, if I go here, body entered for the area node, body entered. So let's go to miner and then say the same thing, body entered, connect to pick a function, that one, and connect it. Okay, so that symbol there means that it's connected to a signal, and I can go and check and say, okay, look, area 3D is connected to the grinder barrel with this signal. So that's also sorted out. Now, hopefully everything is in order, and we can just test it in the firing range. We'll save that, we'll run the game. Script inherits from a native type area 3D, so it can't be assigned to an object of type character body 3D. Oh, okay, so that just means I need to, in the setup, I need to create a new onReady variable for the area and give it a node path for the area, which is just area. Copy the node path and paste it. Paste it there. We'll call that barrel area. But what is it complaining about? Barrel behavior 1. I see. Is that the problem? Try again. There we go. We can see the print messages saying not active when it's not doing anything and active when it's doing something. Okay, that's a good sign. Now if we go to the firing range and do the same thing. Yes. Okay. Now for the big test. Does it actually hurt a mining object? So not And it does. Excellent, it's doing its job. So you can see that we are doing that. So the next step is to make it continuously damage as long as the collision is there and the barrel is spinning. It should continuously damage the mining object. We shouldn't have to bash into the thing like a hammer. It should just grind. Now for the second big test is to make sure that it does no damage to non-mining objects. You can see it's not influencing this object, but it is influencing these ones. So we're getting somewhere. This is good. This is good. Okay, just keep forward ever so slightly, and then yeah. So you can see we have to bash into the object right now to damage it. Bash, and then it dies. Okay, so now we can disable that print statement debugging step, so we can do away with those because we know it works. Why do we do this? We make it a while loop. So while spinning, do this. Okay. Let's see if that fixes it. We'll run the scene. And so this should be while spinning, if the object is of type mining object, okay, there we go. So we are there. Okay, so spinning. Okay, we've hit an infinite loop. It's not doing anything. That's a problem. So we'll have to cancel, stop the game. So the while loop isn't working, clearly. So let's just revert the changes. Okay. And then we just so everything's working as it should, and I want to make a change to the logic so the mining objects take continuous damage as long as the barrel is the barrel's area node area 3D node is colliding with it, and the spinning boolean flag is true. Here is the code so far. I tried a while loop, but that caused the game to hang. Any ideas? Go. To apply continuous damage while the barrel is spinning and colliding with a mining object, you should use a timer or a process function instead of a while loop, which would indeed hang the game. So here's the best approach, the modified battle behavior.gd. So we've got the spinning boolean, the damage, we have a damage interval, and then bodies in contact, the damage timer, okay, so this seems promising. So I see that they added this function for the body exited, which I never thought of, which is good. Let's go to the area node over here, and then here, body exited, we can connect that. But first we need to create the function, right? So let's go back to battle behavior. Body entered, body exited. Bodies in contact is a boolean, I mean it's an array which we haven't defined. It's up here. We have these three new variables on top. So let's do that. There we go. Then we can just tidy this up. That goes to column 26. 26, not, I mean 27, not 26. So like that. And then bring these back. Then we can use Shift Alt click to have multiple cursors and push all of those out to the same column. Okay. So I see that we are basically out of time. It's on the 59th minute. I'll wrap this up and then I'll conclude the live stream, okay? So it's been started, it's been stopped, entered, exited, process, and apply continuous damage. So let's just do this. Target behavior, take damage function. Okay, good. Save. Just make sure everything's there. Got that. Got this. I just need to connect in Godot engine the area nodes exited. Connected using this function, pick body exited. Connect. Save. Okay, we'll test this once. Whether it works or not, I will conclude things. Amazing. It worked. So, grind. That's amazing. That's so cool. Okay, so let's try and figure out exactly what's going on. So, we've got the actual damage, which is the amount of damage inflicted by the grinder, then the damage interval in seconds, and the bodies in contact as an array, and the damage timer as a float. All right. Then so in the process function, we're checking if it's spinning, and there are bodies in contact more than 0. So if 0 or more bodies are in contact and the barrel happens to be spinning, then damage timer plus equals delta. Okay, so delta is the time interval that is continuously being updated as time progresses in the game engine. Okay, so every so-called tick of the game engine, where the engine updates its understanding of the game world or the game scene, that difference is called delta. So delta just means change. So what they're doing is they're adding that delta to the damage timer. And then if the damage timer, because it's now been incremented, if it's greater than the damage interval, which in our case right now is 0.1, then set the damage timer back to 0 and then call this apply continuous damage function. All right. And in the apply continuous damage function, then it says for all bodies, for each body in the bodies in contact array, if is instance valid body, so if this body is a valid instance and it's in the group mining object and it has a method take damage, then call the take damage method with this damage value that we've defined, which is 10. Okay, and I can bring that down to 1 so we can make the grinder really weak. Okay, and test it again, and you'll see now it does even more convincing grinding damage, in quotes, grinding. So let's do that. We'll just get there quickly and then grind, and there you go. Slowly grinding away at this asteroid, and then we can increase the damage that it deals to an asteroid as we increase the rank or we upgrade the grinder barrel, so we can make it of a different type, we can make it more efficient, and all of those kind of stuff. So we're getting there. We're building the foundations of a mining vessel. So I'm going to save all my scenes, and then I'm going to sign off this live stream. So shout out again to Cubes, my junior DevVenturer. That's the middle tier of the coffee memberships. And then a big thank you to all of you for watching and staying with me for this long. Thank you for your time and attention, and for your continued interest in this DevVenture. And I'll see you in the next live stream. Thank you.